concept paper where it says activities planned. Pretty specific of what we would be doing at least the first part of the first year. We may have many of these things in place already that we don't have to redesign, but the biggest thing is to bring the communities together and get them invested in the community development office so that we can speak with one voice. That's the whole gist of this, is that we want to create a vested interest by the local communities.
Did we just recently, you mentioned it's been in the works for a year or so, but did we
Well, I mean, with the agency, we've gone through the needs assessment. It's not news that in every needs assessment that we've done, and I'm sure that anybody else has done, jobs is the #1 priority. I mean, that just is something that you don't even think first about, because jobs is the #1 priority. We have had other strategic planning meetings before this, and jobs has always emerged as a priority. So that's what I meant when I said,
It just seems we're all under the gun at this point, with it being right on top of the deadline for everybody to make the positive decision. That's all.
Well, from my perspective, the agency is standing up and saying we are going to put in this $20,000. However, it won't move forward without matching funds, and that's the bottom line. If we don't have the matching funds, there's no point in continuing the application.
In the event that you wouldn't get all of the money that you're seeking this first year to create the 80% job, do you see you would still be hiring a half-time person?
Well, if we got the necessary match,
I've
been told from the state, just submit the $5,000 match. That's the urgency right now, is get the letters of commitment for the $5,000 match. But you have to understand that ultimately this person cannot do it on half-time. We want this person to be in the trenches and out at the tables of any economic development that surfaces that we could participate in. And she has to have, or he has to have, that leverage to be able to, or that time to be able to go ahead and do it. I want you to know, and normally we don't talk about individual salaries, but the salary we have set for this, from my perspective, is low. It's $16.75 an hour. It's a lot for some people, but in the scope of things and the tables this person is going to be at, it's not a high income, but this is what we would have to work with, and this is where it falls on our scale. Community Action Agency salaries are historically not that large,
so an 80% person would be making $26,000 to $27,000 a year in all likelihood, with a car, with transportation.
Well, we wouldn't get a car, but it would be...
No, I mean, but the transportation
right.
needed.
If you look at the budget right now just reflects the $20,000. And so if you look at the transportation, there's a set-aside there of $2,900 for transportation, and that would be $1,500 for travel. I mean, everything is sort of in the air right now, and we won't know until this actually occurs how much traveling there is going to be. But the conference attendance is one thing that is very important. I had this discussion with our governing board, and whereas some people might think these people are going on junkets, some of these, anybody who's ever participated in anything like this knows that it is so important to be an active participant at things that when it when there's money involved, if you're not there, you can't be part of the process. You have to be there. So you have to establish your network. You have to become part of the team, and you have to be there in order to accomplish that.
Who would be overseeing this position?
Well, ultimately, I would be the direct supervisor. Ultimately, our governing board. If you look at the activities planned, I would hope that anybody who becomes vested in this would also become part of an advisory board, because, again, we want to speak with one voice, and we want to be able to be very confident when we go someplace that we know we have a full team behind us. If you don't have that team behind us, we can't accomplish anything. I'm a firm believer in the stakeholder concept. Everybody has a vested interest in the outcome, and everybody has a voice in that outcome, a collective voice eventually. But it's for the good of the whole. It's not for the good of the Community Action Agency. I don't need another job. The agency doesn't need that $20,000, but the community needs community development. And we don't have these opportunities very often. Seed money like this comes maybe once every 5 years. And so, our opportunity is today. Tomorrow will be somebody else's opportunity.
The agency does a wonderful job for the individuals of the colonies. There's no question. I think that's part of the reason why, when you guys moved to Bessemer, that council agreed to waive the taxes and so forth, because we knew the services you would be providing everybody. However, I guess when I read this, and the concept is great, but we've also got a county EDC. How is that interaction going to be? How would it be between you guys and the county? First, but then secondly, my understanding is we don't contribute to the county EDC as some others do, and it would be difficult for us to contribute to one and not the other. So it's either nothing for both, or we contribute to both. And I think that's part of the predicament. Like I say, the interaction with the county. Are we going to be duplicating efforts here between what you guys are going to do and what the county's going to do? I don't know.
And it would be difficult for me to say that as well. That isn't the plan. The plan for community action has access to other sources that maybe the EDC, we don't have access to their sources, and they don't have access to our sources. Again, I'm not here to get involved in the politics of anything. I'm here to try to help our communities get out of the mess that we're in. And the only way I think we can do it is collectively. I sense a huge amount of frustration among the townships as far as being represented with the EDC. And it gave me the feeling that if there was a way for us to overcome that kind of a situation, that we should try it. The seed money came along, and we're here. This has gone through our own governing board review. We've had many hard questions to answer. It's a big step. From my perspective, if you want to know the truth, $5,000 is a drop in the bucket. When you think of what the potential is for the future if you do it in a concerted way. $5,000 will seem like absolutely nothing in the future if you can do some significant economic development. So, we can be penny wise or dollar foolish. That's up to you. But now is the time, from my perspective, to try bring our local municipalities together and to speak with one voice and to try to establish a community development office that will have